hardware, but Allen wrenches, backing plate, actually comes with a set of strings. Now, I think I'm going to throw Ernie balls on mine, but supposedly all of the wiring is plug and play. There's 2 humbuckers and 1 single coil pickup. I believe I am going to attempt make all of the silver hardware, as much as I can anyway, black. I think that would go better with what I have in mind for the staining process. I've got some acid etching primer. I think that might help definitely rough up the surfaces before doing anything, and then going back over with a black gloss paint and clear coat. My first step in the process after I took everything out of the box, this is Temu's what they call the 170 guitar kit. It, you know, is a Strat style, more sharp edged than a typical Strat. It kind of reminded me of an Ibanez body. But the wood itself is mahogany, and it was very, very rough. So I went ahead and used some 150 grit sandpaper on the top and the sides. I haven't done the back yet because I wanted to kind of capture the roughness of the back. And you know, this is the same way that the top and sides were. Now, one thing I am pretty impressed with is the neck. Okay, it has a pre-installed truss rod and nut. The frets themselves are really smooth, and nothing, no extension beyond the sides of the neck. It's fitted really nicely. And this particular wood has a very smooth finish to it. Might do some very light sanding, but nothing major needs to be done to it. I'm really impressed with the neck. I was just back on Temu's site. Now, I paid $64 for this kit. What I was looking for was some type of information on the fretboard and what it is made out of. And it doesn't say anything about the material, the wood that's used for the fretboard. So this is my plan for the body. The first step that some people take is using a black stain on the top, wherever you want to use it, but mainly on the top of the body, and letting it, you know, sit for 24 hours. Then come back and really, with a rotary sander, go over the areas with that sanding. And what the black stain really does is bring out the grain of the wood as far as the colors and the stains I'm going to be using other than the black to bring out the grain. The first thing I'm going to do is use this Varathane Rustic Sage, sides, back. It's a very light colored, green tinted stain. The other stain I have is a Minwax paste stain, emerald. It's a much deeper green color. The black brings out the grain texture like I'm hoping. We'll see how it turns out. Obviously, I'm going to top coat it with a gloss clear coat, but because I don't have other pieces of mahogany sitting around my house or in my garage, I want to utilize the pockets for seeing how the stain looks. It's been 24 hours since I put on the Minwax black stain, and I'm going to go with an orbital sander and sand this as much as possible. So here's how the body came out using the orbital sander. Didn't want to go crazy. It removed the black very easily, but the whole point of the black is to bring out some of that grain. So I did the staining of the body. I made some decisions that I originally wasn't going to go with. My plan was to go over the entire body with the lighter of the two stains I have. Total coats of stain on the entire guitar, whether it was the emerald on top, the emerald and rustic sage on the sides, or the rustic sage only on the back, were 4 coats. As you can see, the rustic sage is really made to just accentuate the wood and the grain that's already there. It's, just slightly off from bare wood. So I've got the fretboard and nut all taped off. The neck is maple, the body is mahogany. So before staining anything, the body and the neck, I use this Varathane pre-stain wood conditioner. It tends to help a very even coat with the stain, and it seems to make it really help the wood absorb the stain into the pores. I'm really glad I went over the top of the body originally with the black stain and then did the sanding. You can see the darker streaks that came out on the top of the body that were really brought out in there because of the black stain that originally was put down. So everything's been stained and has dried for beyond 24 hours. I really like how the neck came out in the headstock. What I had been working on, waiting for the stain to all thoroughly dry, I was working on priming, roughing up with sandpaper, then priming, then painting all of the hardware. I had an almost full can of the Rust-Oleum hammered black, so I used that. So, change of plans. I started out using Minwax polyacrylic as a clear coat. It's water-based. It's very easy to clean up. It's also very fast drying, but that's okay. It's kind of like a weathered look to it, which I actually like. But the second coat and third coat of the polyacrylic had different issues, including it spitting out clumps of the finish onto the guitar as I was spraying. I've done everything I can find to do to avoid that, as far as, you know, preheating the can, some hot water. I know that from other projects I had before, and I always do that, but I was doing that in this case. Constantly shaking the can, constantly cleaning the tip of the nozzle. It was literally like 2 passes over, and then it would just start spitting out clumps. So I'm going to sand this down, rough up this surface, including the neck. So in an attempt to utilize materials I already have and not invest extra money into this guitar kit, but wanting to stop using that polyacrylic, I did have a third of a can and a completely unused full can of spray-on lacquer. So that's what I have been using for the last 2 coats. And you can see how everything is coming out. I am going to stop this video at this point and refer to it as part 1. When I start part 2, I either will do a very little bit of filming of the final polishing stage, possibly not do that at all, but then immediately get into the assembly of the hardware that came with the kit. Thanks for checking this out, guys. I really appreciate it.